I spoke like I didn't know like
I go to festivals. Every March I go to Miami for Miami Music Week.
This is freestyle right here.
I'll talk about Miami Music Week. You guys are really good.
Yo, what's up everybody? What's up everybody? Welcome back to another Monday with us. This is the El Nino podcast. I'm Nino, and this is Real Everyday People. Thank you for staying tuned, for tuning in, for sharing, for subscribing, all that good stuff. Thank you for all the love and support. Got some good guests in here, some good company. As you see, we're rolling with the Thanksgiving theme for today because I know Thanksgiving is in the next couple of days. So, we want to break bread with each other because, this is the way that we show our gratitude for each other, our family, our friends, our loved ones, my support system, all the people who are around me, who are positive, who encourage me, who help me, who aid me, who assist me, who love me unconditionally. I have a lot to be grateful for. And even having good people in my lives, friends like this, you guys are assets to the community, assets to other people's lives, man. Yeah. Yes. So today we got a friend of mine, Jabhab.
How you doing? I'm Ferris.
Okay, and then we got my man Spencer over here.
How you doing, Spencer Hunter?
Yeah, my man. Where you from, Spence?
I'm from Inkster.
Inkster, baby. Inktown, what's up, baby?
48141.
Yeah. Yeah, so, I always want to bring something to the table. I always want to bring diversity to the table. I also want to create a platform so that, we get to hear everybody's stories, have a diverse crowd, have a diverse guest, be able to reach different people, educate different people in different ways. Here we're a show that's very open-minded, very open-hearted, and this whole podcast is really to reach out to people, help build people up, educate people. So without no further ado, I'm gonna let my man Ferris go ahead and introduce himself to you guys and tell him a little bit about himself.
How you doing? I'm Ferris. I manage a restaurant inside the airport, the Leo's. I've been doing that. We've opened up for 3 years, almost 4. It's about 3.5 years, and it's been a journey. This whole COVID took a hit, especially on restaurants, and they shut us down again. But hey, we still out there and we're still trying to do our thing.
Shout out to Leo's Coney Island, chili cheese fries, extra crispy. Holla at me.
Oh yeah. Spence, the supervisor, with us, and he'd be holding it down.
So listen, I got Leo's finest here. You hear me? They gonna tell you how it go from front to back. And shout out to my baby Katie Montroy, what I'm saying? She be busting her little butt at work.
All day.
And these are supervisors, and she always tell me that they good people do a good job, and it come with a lot of responsibility when you're in a leadership position of any kind. You have to manage people, you have to manage customers, you have to manage yourself and the people you work with. So, for those who aren't familiar with the restaurant business, like there's so much that comes with it. And I know that, sometimes they make it look easy, but there's just so much more to it.
Especially in the airport, it's all travelers, so everybody's on like a time, the clock when they got aboard, so they're always in like a kind of a rush. So you gotta get the food out, you gotta get it good. If not, Katie would be yelling at us, "Where are my fries? They're not hot." Send these back and stuff like that. She be cussing us out sometimes, but at the end of the day, she likes the work we put in, and. Well, Katie hustles. Katie hustles.
Well, she believes in quality over quantity.
Customer service.
And that's why she picked me. But with me, she get both. She get quality and quantity.
No, she got great customer service. Customers love her,
Oh, no, absolutely. She's very professional.
But see, when she be yelling at us, it's for the customer, which is good. So sometimes you can't even be
that's the name of the business. The customer is always right.
Yeah, so she's looking out for the customer, which is looking out for the whole restaurant.
So, just to even understand what's required of that, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to bite your tongue a lot. You have to be very patient. You have to be very tolerant. You have to be very understanding because I can only imagine working at an airport, the diversity. You get foreign people from everywhere who don't speak English. They like Katie was telling me, like they have different value systems. Like, a lot of Asian countries, when they come through there and they come to a restaurant, they don't believe in tipping, and it's just, it's just different traditions in different places.
If tipping actually started with the end of slavery.
Oh yeah.
So what happened is people were now having to pay employees they never paid. So they started suggesting tips.
Okay.
So where they could pay somebody at a lower minimum wage, and then they would get tipped out. So when slavery ended is when we actually started tipping here. So these people that come in from other countries, right? They didn't have that, so they're not used to tipping. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's all built into their their pay. So, but if you go to like Asia and stuff like that, and China, Korea, their food at restaurants is actually more expensive because it's built into their salaries, their pay, their hourly wage. All right. And over here, that's why it's like that.
Well, big ups to all my family, my friends, whoever you are, if you a server, and I know that, it's not an easy job memorizing everything that people tell you. Like, I think it's amazing, and shout out to you guys. I hope you guys get good tips for the holidays.
Oh yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
They get the main yelling of the customers,
So how did you two meet?
I started working for his uncle, met him at Leo's.
Okay, so what did his uncle? You started working for his uncle. Did he own a restaurant or he?
Yeah, pretty big name.
Okay, all right.
And I got a good name too, so they kind of found me.
Hey, that's good. That's what goodness attracts goodness. You know what I'm saying?
In the restaurant, Spencer's been in the airport for some time before the Mac was even built. Back with Smith and all that.
Don't
stuff,
tell too much, man.
Yeah. So he's been there. He sees it. So, at the airport, it's a little difficult because it's a chain effect. When one person's got a flight, they'll be like, "Oh, I'm boarding," and then everyone becomes like boarding. So you got to like kind of take it. But
what position do you hold at work?
I'm his supervisor in the kitchen.
Okay, all right. And you are what? You're a manager?
The store manager.
Okay.
Basically,
so what does your job specifically consist of? We're talking about cooks. How many cooks do you have?
Well,
working at a time.
Maybe 2 to 3, including myself.
Okay, all right.
And I got to make sure that the kitchen is ran right.
All right.
Keep everything up to code, cleaned up. Make sure food is at right temperatures.
Yeah. And you got a pretty good team. Like, is everybody receptible to what you're trying to accomplish for the day, or like what are the challenges that come with being a supervisor?
There's a lot of challenges with that, but at the end of the day, it all works out. Everybody ain't perfect. But we do what we got to do to get it going.
Absolutely. Teamwork make a dream work. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Everybody going through something. You got to think you're running a business. Everybody got something going on. Times like this, people are stressful. You got to be at your best. You got to be the most tolerant, the most professional, because, your customers are going through it. So, I send my prayers out, man, that everybody have safe holidays. Whether you traveling or you staying home, man, just be kind to one another, man. Be respectful to one another. You know what I mean? Like, it don't take nothing to say please, thank you, and excuse me. It don't take nothing to hold the door for somebody. You know what I mean? So, let's practice love, man, more than anything, because I think everybody got a little bit of healing to do.
Yeah, especially with COVID, like, it's no joke. I know I have a friend, his dad got it, and 2 weeks later he passed away. And his uncle at the funeral, they found out he tested positive, like right after the funeral, he was feeling sick.
Yeah, man.
And then 2 weeks after his dad died, his uncle died, which is his dad's brother.
Wow, man, that's all my prayers, all my love goes to everybody who's dealing with COVID right now. Whether you're dealing with it or impacted directly, or a loved one that's going through it, man. My prayers go to you.
Amen to that.
Oh yeah, amen.
So you're a cook as well, right?
Yeah, I manage the whole restaurant, do a lot of the back work, but I like to focus on the kitchen because the kitchen's like the heart of the restaurant. If the food's coming out, that's what it's running everything. Because then the servers,
what's your nationality? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No.
But what's your nationality?
I'm Palestinian.
Palestinian. Okay.
I was born in San Francisco, '88.
Okay, 88 San Francisco.
My team is kind of injured right now. The Niners.
Okay.
But at least they're still not the Lions. But
man, you better flush his head.
No, but the Niners that's always been my team.
Yeah. I wish I'd have knew that before I put him here. Nah, messing with you.
Actually, one of my cousins, one of my best friend's cousins, is on the Lions. So
okay.
I got respect for him, but
yeah, you better.
Niners is in my heart.
So how did you? So from San Francisco, you came. What? You landed in Michigan.
Yeah. So a lot of my dad's family is in San Francisco, And after the earthquake and all that stuff, the '89, my dad lost a lot. So my mom's side of the family was out here,
Mm-hmm.
and my mom had a sister in Cleveland. So we kind of went to Cleveland. We were there for a month. It wasn't right, and then we came to Michigan. It was like '94. So I was young, but we moved here, came to Garden City,
Okay.
and then from Garden City, I went to school there until the 6th grade. And then we moved to Livonia, and then from Livonia, I just been in Livonia.
Yeah. What's it like living in Garden City and Livonia? Because me growing up, in the neighborhood, it's like, man, I think of Livonia, Garden City. I'm like, man, that's like rich people. That's suburbs.
No.
I even had a homeboy from Westland. And because he was from Westland, I thought he was rich. I was like, man, you from the suburbs, man. He's like, no, I ain't. I'm from Shacktown. I said, Shacktown? What that mean? So he's like, I'm going to show you. So he took me to Westland, took me through Shacktown, and literally is a neighborhood community full of shacks. You know what I'm saying? Like garages. And I was like, I felt bad for the brother. I said, damn, I'm from the hood and my stuff looking better than your situation, So, we ended up bonding from there, and it just, it really helped me grow a little bit, because you can't automatically judge somebody and what they go through just because of where they're from. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because there's people everywhere struggling one way or the other. So many people eat with their eyes. We judge with our eyes and with what we see. But at the end of the day, man, people got layers and layers of things that they carrying on them, man. So again, that's just to reiterate, man. Let's be kind to one another, because we going through things, and so is everybody else.
Well, I like Livonia, Garden City. It's like everybody in the neighborhood. Everyone looks out for each other.
That's good.
I think it's pretty normal. I like Livonia because their public safety is on point. The fire department, the police department, they're always parked outside, like in the parking lots across the street from my house. So.
And is it a diverse community?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. See,
Okay.
people they think Livonia and they think, oh, there's money out there, but I don't think so, because then when we look at like Northville and all that stuff, so we're just like, oh no, it's not money out here. It's just Northville is right up the street, all that. A lot bigger houses. I'm on the border of Livonia and Westland, and some people toward the Northville side would be like, oh, that's the shitty part of Livonia. But
hey, it's like that everywhere, man.
I'm cool.
You can
with
be
it,
in Bloomfield Hills. Somebody gonna be like, oh, we from over here, you from over there. You know how it goes, man. Everything's, people are competitive, man. It's human nature, I guess.
Well, in Livonia, we got the 3 main high schools. Churchill, Franklin, and Stevenson. So it's always like, oh, you're from that part of the town or this part of town.
Okay.
But it's all Livonia, you know what I'm saying? And it's, going in high school and all that.
So you were telling me that you had went to college for a while. You had pursued an education in dental.
Yeah, I was pre-dental. I was
Okay.
going to Detroit Mercy.
Detroit
And,
Mercy?
Yeah,
All right.
that's where I graduated from. I got my degree from there. And I was always working with my family. And like while I was, about to graduate, when my father passed, the right move to me at the time was to continue working with the family and, going from there. And that's where I am today, which is, working with family is great. It's got its pros, it's got its cons, like everything else.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, I like it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I respect the fact, because him and I had this conversation, and we were talking about the reason he pursued being in the dental industry was to the fact that he wanted to be able to still manage a decent life and still have time for himself, have time for his family, because a lot of times, even prior to me being released from prison, like, I had an idea of how the world functioned, and everybody's like constantly in the hustle and bustle. And, even with parents, who are working hard, and some parents work 2 jobs, 3 jobs, just to be able to provide a good life. But I just feel like, too many times, we put humanity to the side, and people are running themselves down, and they're sacrificing the privileges of spending time with their family, friends, and loved ones, for the sake of making money. And it's like, it's become the American way to just do whatever you got to do, what I'm saying, just to be able to make ends meet, and I just, at the end of the day, I have a different value system now, and I just don't take my family, my friends, or my loved ones for granted. You know what I mean? So I also want to be able to live a lifestyle where I'm making a living for myself, but I also get to spend the time, because when you spend time with your family, those are the things that are priceless.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yes,
see,
indeed.
the thing is though, with why I pursued it, like what I was going for dental versus like medical, is because all the doctors that I know are always like 60, 70 hours in the hospitals, this and that. And every dentist I know spends a lot of family time. And that's one of the reasons, too, why, if I continued going to school, my mom, would keep working in the family stores, my cousin's stores, and all that stuff. And I was like, let me go this direction, because, the more school I was in, the more she was working. And I was like, hey,
Okay.
I didn't want her to work.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, all right, let me hustle now, let me do my thing now. And it's good. And
So hold on, excuse me. We're gonna take a 2-minute intermission real quick, and when we get back, we're gonna get to know Ferris a little bit better.
El Nino Podcast.
You already know you're in the mix with Detroit DJ Dan, and this is the El Nino Podcast. We got Ferris, Jabhab in the building. Shoot up, people.
At least Dragon is the name of the track.
So check us out every Monday night for Live in the Mix Monday. Real everyday people right after. And this Friday night, Freestyle After Dark. Bringing you nothing but the hotness.
You can sit on the couch. There's room.
what's up, everybody? This is the El Nino podcast. I'm Eladio Nino, and this is Real Everyday People. So thank you for staying tuned in with us. Thank you for all the love and support. We appreciate you. We had a conversation with my man Faris Jabhab, you know, my man, Palestinian brother. And, you know, he shared with me, I just automatically assumed that because he was Palestinian that he was a Muslim. But he explained to me that he was an Orthodox Christian. And, you know, you want to share a little bit about that, you know?
Oh, yeah. So, I'm from Palestine, a town called Ramallah, right? And Palestine is, you know, it's the Holy Land. So you got, you know, Christians, you got Muslims, you got Jews. They all live together, you know. And for the main part, you know, people always see the war that goes on the news and this and that. The people, really, for the most part, you know, they don't have problems living with each other. It's the governments that always are pushing war because war is money, you know. And it's shitty because, you know, you'll see people and they'll be like, oh, he's Palestinian. And they'll think, oh, you know, he's a terrorist. They're trying to kill us, this and that. And it's not like that. Okay. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like they're assuming stuff. You know, I got Muslim friends that are Palestinian. I got Christian friends that are Palestinian. And
okay, wow.
All Middle Eastern people, it's, you know, there's a lot of Christians. And there's a lot of Muslims, and then, you know, there's the Jews, and they all live together.
You know what? That's beautiful.
You know?
That's unity. You know, definitely. You know, it'd be good to be able to practice that a little bit everywhere.
Yeah, it's a little rough because, you know, for the most part, because it was Palestine, and then when Israel, you know, they made Palestine into Israel, and, you know, they came in, and they had, you know, they started the war, and they're taking a lot of territory. You know, so it's all, you know, under the Israeli government. They're occupying, you know, Palestine, and they'll be kicking people out of their houses. So I know how it is. You know, when people come over here, I have cousins that move over here from over there. You know, and
yeah, absolutely, we can relate.
They lose their houses, they lose everything, and they come over here, and that's why you'll see a lot of people.
Can you tell me this, man? How, like, I've met so many Middle Eastern people, and they love freestyle music. They love it, you know, like they're hip to all the artists, the songs, and you know, like when I was in prison, like that's how I connected to a lot of Middle Eastern brothers, Chaldeans, Lebanese. Like they really, you know, enjoyed freestyle music just like we do, you know, just like a lot of us Latinos did, you know.
Yeah.
So like, where did that come from? Like, how did that start? You know.
You know what? I think it's more of an overseas thing, you know, or like foreign people because they can relate to most of the music, even with house music. I'm into house music. I go to Ultra Music Festival, Miami Music Week. Every year I went the last 5 years in a row, and then COVID messed this year up. But, you know, hopefully we'll be back in the scene, and you get all these people from over 100 different countries. They come for the music, you know, and
wow.
It's like a big festival. You know, with thousands and thousands
it's
of people.
It's a language that everybody speaks. We hear that
and
song,
that's
that's my song. Boom, boom,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
And that's the thing. You don't have problems at those festivals. You don't have no fights, and people just like you could be partying with somebody from a different country, not even be able to speak to them, but you could party with them.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
crazy,
and you just relate like that, and it's a great time. Just all of my music week, you get the DJs from flying in.
So you brought your hookah with you.
Oh yeah.
Like, what's up with the hookah, man? Like,
I
never seen it before. I came home and I was seeing hookah shops everywhere, and I'm like, what's up with the hookah? You know what I mean? So you've been over here blowing good. You know, you got the fruit thing. Like, can you kind of explain it a little bit, break it down for us, and like tell us like a little bit of history on the hookah, where it came from? Or?
Yeah, well, it came from the Middle East. Like a lot of Egyptians, it was like original over there. They have them, so that's why you'll see like the Egypt ones, the really old ones. But it's basically flavored tobacco and molasses, and then they dry it, they hollow out the orange, they put it in, put the foil, you put the charcoal on top, like the one I got over here.
It just looks like a lot of work. Yeah, but I see.
And then,
I thought they was marshmallows. He said they was charcoal. I said, okay.
So then what it does,
you had a snack family.
you smoke it, it comes through the water as a filter, kind of, you know, chills the smoke. And you just smoke it. You know, it's like more of a social thing.
I'm like, bro, you can't be smoking no bongs on here, bro. He's like, oh, it ain't it, you know.
So, tobacco.
I've never tried it before. I'm not, you know, I don't smoke cigarettes and stuff like that. But
you know, a funny story. So there's this Orthodox camp in Pennsylvania, right, in Ligonier. And, you know, you can't smoke on the property. It's like a church camp, you know?
Wow. Okay.
And one of my friends was there as a counselor, and he was like, oh, I got to have hookah. So he went to the local McDonald's, bought some food, lit his hookah in the parking lot, and he got surrounded by the police because they thought it was, you know, he was smoking a bong in the parking lot, and they searched his car and everything. And he was like, no, it's tobacco, you know? He's like, I don't smoke weed, you know? He's like, I'll take a drug test, and it's just funny.
Shout out to my boy Valon Jukai out there in Albania. He be blowing big boy what do you call these again? Hookahs. Big boy hookahs.
Argila in Arabic, you know, they call it. But see, you'll see a lot of them here in Michigan. You'll see a lot of them in Miami and stuff like that, but they don't make them like they here.
Mm-hmm.
See, actually, Dearborn in the Detroit area has the most Arabs outside the Middle East.
Wow. So
So if you go anywhere in the world, nobody has as many Arabs as we have just here. So you see,
I learned a couple things, you know. I got a few friends.
but yeah, it's just good. Social, you hang out, watch, you know, football games, you know, basketball games, have hookah, and it's just chill, you know.
So listen, after college, what happened? After college, what did you do? After you pursued, you know, what degree? You got a degree, right?
Yeah.
Okay, what'd you get a degree in?
So it's a little bit of a weird degree because I went to school for biology, right?
Okay.
But because it was like I had one lab left till I graduated, right?
Okay.
And the lab was always in the winter semester, you know. So when my father passed, I missed a bunch of, you know, labs, and you can't make up those labs. So the dean was like, hey, you know, you have to wait another year basically to take this lab, or I could transfer you to the School of Liberal Arts. And they used my biology credits and chemistry credits for like a liberal arts degree, but specialty for biology and chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that's they looked out for me, you know, and that's
good.
another reason why I was like, I like Detroit Mercy because it wasn't like a big university to where you're a number. You know, you actually talk to your professors. They know who you are. You know who they are. And, you know, I went to Schoolcraft College, you know, and it was a community college, so I transferred over to Detroit Mercy.
Okay.
You know, it's private university.
What was the difference between the two?
It was similar, just a lot harder classes. And most of the professors that, when you take the classes there, they write the books and stuff like that. So
Listen, man, big shout out to WCCCD, man, because, you know, I came home and I just wanted to stay on the right path, so I immediately jumped into college. And, you know, so I went for a semester, but it was a big challenge for me because, you know, me being a returning citizen, being gone for 17 years, I wasn't able to grow with the technology world. So when I came home, you know, I'm accustomed to taking notes, reading, writing, you know, and so when I came home, like, that's not even the way that things function anymore. So I had signed up for college and overwhelmed myself because I didn't prepare myself, take any technology classes or anything like that. So, you know, I got discouraged, man. So I wasn't able to pursue my education. But since I've been working at the DHDC, like, they've been training me, they've been grooming me, they've been cultivating me, they've empowered me, they've been educating me. Like, I've grown so much. Even during this COVID era, I've been working from home. I know how to work a laptop now. I can do emails and stuff like that. So, you know, I feel really good about myself because, you know, I'm adding to my value, my personal value. And just to anybody, if you feel stagnant or you just, you know, just walk fearless, man. Walk like a giant. If there's obstacles and challenges in front of you, look at them like projects. Look at them from a different perspective, a positive perspective, you know, and just, you know, just be fearless and break down the mental barriers that you have and allow yourself to grow. And because sometimes in life, man, you're the only one standing in your own way.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's real right there.
So you got a degree in bio,
Yeah.
and how has that benefited you?
Well, I started working with my cousins when I was 10 years old in the family in the stores. My cousin had a bunch of Mrs. Fields.
Mrs. Fields, okay.
So
What was that?
the cookie stores in the malls, and then I would go to the stores when I was young, you know, wash the dishes, go get stuff from the freezers, the coolers, clean up around the stores while they were busy. And, you know, I always worked with my family. So after a while I was in school, I was still working. You know, started managing the stores in school, you know, full time, and working full time. And then I started working with my friend's cousin. He did check cashing, and he, you know, the cash advance. I was gonna buy into one of the stores, but it just wasn't me. You know, I just didn't see myself in that direction. So I went back to working in cookie stores. And now, you know, my cousin was a partner in Leo's, and he said, you know, apply for this because Amazon destroyed the retail world. You know, because everybody can order something, and if they don't like it, they'll return it.
So like, shout out to Amazon because y'all keep me straight.
Yeah, it destroyed the retail world. So I was like, the malls were going down, and you know, they're slower, a lot slower than they were. I was like, I need action. I'm too hyper for this, you know? Yeah. So that's when I went to the airport. But also, my cousins forever, ever since, you know, medical marijuana has been around, they've been growing and stuff. So, I always worked with them on the side, you know, because you always have to keep working. You always have to move up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then it's like, people will always live the lifestyle of the jobs they have, right? So in order to go to the next level, you gotta always have your side hustle. You know what I'm saying? So I always worked, you know, with them. Started growing. It was a little bit, I would say, easier for me than the average person because of the bio degree.
Okay,
right?
Yeah. So you already got an understanding.
So as I'm studying, like, you know, the plants and stuff like that.
What strain is that?
This one right here that's a blueberry OG.
Blueberry OG. Okay.
This right here is a cookie kush. It's a Girl Scout cookie crust with the OG kush.
Okay.
You know, and I just been growing, having fun with it. It's, you know, a good time, and meet a lot of new people too with, you know.
And I'm sure you make a lot of good money too.
Yeah, it's good. It's good, you know. But see,
so let's just for somebody who just wants to start up a grow room, you know, because we're in Michigan, it's legal, both recreational and medicinal. But so what, like, say somebody had a basement and had a room 17 by 22. From top to bottom, what would they need to get themselves started? You know.
Well, for most rooms that we've built or like helped build, right? I always tell people, you know, 25, 30,000 to do it right. And something like this, you got to start right. You got to start with a good sized room. You got to start with all the right equipment. You know what I'm saying? You can't just do, like, you know, people do small tents for like personal stuff, right? But to go on a bigger level, you got to get the right lights. Every environment is different.
So like, okay,
right? So every room, you can't say like this room is going to be exactly this because, you know, this environment might be a different environment. What works for you might not work for me.
They're asking if you brought any samples.
I brought some samples. They're around here somewhere. You know, it's good stuff. You know, I smoke at night. I stick to flower. Okay. You know, because when I smoke, I smoke. So it's like I'm almost like useless. So I know my limit of, all right, let me smoke at night because all day I got to be focused on, you know, especially the plants.
So if somebody was trying to build a room, and like, what would they need as far as like, because I remember hearing you mention humidifier, dehumidifiers. You talking about air supply, CO2, temperatures, sensors. And like, you know, I know it's like speaking a foreign language to me, but you know, for other people who may be wanting to start something up, like what kind of chemicals do you use, and what are the good and the bad of certain chemicals that you may or may not use?
A lot of people,
because there's a lot of people who don't know how to grow, and they're using chemicals, and people are getting sick and getting hurt from these things. So I just think that if you want to improve yourself and improve the quality of your work, and identify with your work as a reflection of who you are, then I believe that it's educational to hear other trial and errors from other people and different things that they use, to help improve yourselves and what you're trying to do.
Well, you need the right environment because it's like California, perfect environment for it, so you got to kind of mimic that with the lights. You got, the HPS, you get Phantoms, Gavitas, those lights, which is going to require a lot more air condition because they put off so much heat, right?
Okay.
So you're going to need, basically, you go LED, right? LED
Okay.
is a newer technology, so not a lot of people know how to grow with LEDs. So
Okay.
people grow, they study like growing with, the room temperature of, what you're setting your AC for HPS, and the double-ended lights, the single-ended lights, and then that's where they mess up because they don't get the temperatures right with LED because they're not putting
So
off
is that what
heat.
creates like spider mites and russet mites? Because
Well-
I've heard people who had trial and error and they ended up losing a whole crop over russet mites and spider mites. And how do you even prevent that? And even preventing seeds or anything like that. Like just give
Well-
us just something brief, just so
So-
that they understand how the process goes.
With mites and bugs and all that stuff, if anybody tells you they don't have them, they're liars, right? Everybody has bugs. Why? You're in houses, you're opening up doors, you're bringing in dirt from outside, right?
Okay.
That will have bugs and stuff in it. So if anybody tells you, oh, I don't have bugs, they're lying. It's how you control them. So you're constantly spraying them with, cleaners, which aren't really bad. It's basically like water, oil, and, soap, and you spray them and you kind of control it that way. You get the fruit fly, sticky traps because, I grow in cocoa, which is different than.
So you're saying that you can even go to other people's houses and pick up stuff that you bring back home that could affect.
All day. If somebody's got mites, like a bad, a lot of mites, and
that's
they
like
didn't
bed
control it,
bugs. You know what I mean?
and they get in there, they'll start eating at the leaves, the bud, and all that stuff, and they'll destroy your whole crop.
So what would you say? What is the most profitable strand that produces the most? Like, what is your favorite strand that you like to grow?
Gorilla Glue is my go-to.
Okay.
Grow.
Why Gorilla Glue?
It's a very high yielder, right? It produces a lot. If you get a good cut of Gorilla Glue, it's fire. You can do anything with Gorilla. Is a good producer. You could do like Gorilla cookies. You could grow anything with Cali glue. Anything with the glue is gonna produce, and they're, not. I work a lot, so if I get caught at the airport and I don't feed on time, you can drive down the highway, throw it out the window at 80 miles an hour, go pick it up a week later, and it's still going to grow. With certain strains like, sour diesel, it's a very sensitive strain. A lot of sativas, which people don't grow many of them, they don't produce. But
So you're saying that
very
they see
sensitive.
different nurturing. Each strand doesn't
Yeah,
just grow
everything
the
is
same. You
different.
can't just use the same method for the same strand. I understand.
Everything is different, and some people they've mastered some, and that's what they stick to. I just love glue because it produces. It's good. It's really good bud. You gotta get a good cut of it.
What about like a lot of people even do backyard projects like outdoor, like how is that competitive with is it compatible to indoor, or like is there a big difference?
You could get good outdoor weed. There's a lot of good outdoor weed, but I don't like it. A lot of outdoor weed, we're not in the environment to grow it. You know what I'm saying? Our summers
Okay.
get really hot. Our winters get cold. We don't have no middle season, to grow it. My cousin's got a farm, but actually like 3 hours away. And this year they cropped 16,500 plants.
Wow.
But they did all that for the distillate, where they break it into distillate for their edibles and their pens and all that
Is
stuff.
that a profitable business? Like,
Oh yeah, for them they're licensed.
okay,
So,
yeah, absolutely.
They my cousin was actually the first recreational license in the state.
And where was he out of? Where was it?
Exclusive Ann Arbor.
In Ann Arbor. Okay.
So my cousins are out
Exclusive.
there.
Shout out. What up, cuz?
Yeah, so they were the first recreational license. They were on the news and everything. They came out, the state came out with the media, passed out the licenses, and it's good, but see, it's not federally legal. So that's the scary part, because the feds, they'll come in anytime, but generally they don't because of how much taxes you pay. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I mean, because there's a lot of
Heavy
people
taxes.
investing a lot of their monies,
Yeah.
savings into these, growing projects and stuff like that. And I hear things and people talk about, some are successful, some are a lot of trial and error. Sometimes you lose more than you gain initially in the beginning, but if you're in it for the long haul, it could be profitable.
Thank God I got support. I was going helping my cousins. So my whole thing is the reason why I believe I advance a lot faster than like most people, because when I'm watching people, I'm not watching to what they're doing like good. I'm watching all their errors.
Okay.
And that's where
But are you a pessimistic thinker, or is it part of your job to see what the? Oh, because you want to learn from the wrong.
So I'm
Okay,
learning
I got
from
you.
their mistakes.
Because you got some people who just only see negative. You know what I'm
So
saying?
I look at their mistakes because I'm like, okay, that's what I'm not going to do. But I try to do a lot of different things, and back to the basics, because the basics is always good.
That's
But
cool.
thank God I got
people
support, a lot of support from
can-
family.
Yeah, thank God for all the support. And if you don't have any support, do some soul searching, because all the answers are within you. I promise you. So listen, we're gonna take another 2-minute intermission, and we'll be right back. Thank you for staying tuned.
All right, they're putting us up on game. You're in the mix with Detroit's own DJ Dan. Let's get it. people. Put your ball game.
What up?
And then Mike. Oh, the mic.
All right. Yo, what's up, everybody?
Can't smoke
This is
on
the
here,
El
man.
Nino podcast. I'm Eladio Nino, and this is Real Everyday People. So thank you for staying tuned in. If you just tuning in or if you've been tuned in, thank you. Thank you for your views, your love, and your support, man. And big shout out to my man Emmanuel Juarez from the neighborhood, made this shirt for me with Tupac and Chalino Sanchez. You know what I mean? Big ups to that.
Yeah, that's
and
lit.
big ups to my sponsors, my brother at LA Landscaping, Jose Rivera. Big shout out to Tony Mendez, to the other brother with the Word on the Street podcast, DJ Angel. And listen, man, and this comes from my heart, man. Lit Music Entertainment, man. Jose Del Valle, Detroit DJ Dan, man. I couldn't do this without you, brothers, man. Thank you, man. I appreciate you guys, man.
Much love you way too, sir.
And all you brothers, man, in the neighborhood that's doing right and doing your thing, man. Let's work together, man. Let's make things happen. We can do it together. We can get there together, man. United. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all stand for the same thing, so let's move together. Let's move forward together.
Oh yeah.
Yup.
That's
Cool.
real.
Yup.
It's lit.
So, listen, one of the things that I want to clear up that maybe you can explain is, you know, I've heard a lot of conversations about people talking about why Arabs are so successful in America, and I've heard a lot of people talking about, oh, well, they get tax breaks for 7 years, or they never have to pay taxes, and for all these reasons. Like, I never really understood it, but is there a way you can break it down and educate me and everybody else who wants to know?
So any person who moves here from any other country, right? They get a 7-year tax break on business taxes, right? So they don't pay business taxes, but they're bringing in money, which they do get taxed on. So you pay every other tax, you know, your property tax, you know, income tax, you pay everything. You just don't pay a business tax for the 7 years to help people get on their feet for bringing in money to the United States to start a business. But for the most part, most of the people that come over here, especially from the Middle East, they're coming from war-torn countries.
Okay.
And they're coming here with nothing, right? So that's where the drive is, of always like work, you know, because you gotta, you know, get to that next level because you're coming from nothing. So you'll see a lot of people, they'll move here from overseas, you know, and they'll all live together, they'll all work real hard, you know, and basically that's where they start buying their businesses from. It's like, say my cousins will move here, they'll move in with us, you know, work, to where they get their money to buy a business. But for the most part, people, they are here longer than that 7 years before they could actually buy businesses. So that 7-year, you know, business tax is done.
Okay.
You know, you're here, you got to.
So you have 7 years. Within them 7 years, and you can get business tax free.
From what I understand, you know, from what I've been told from like accounting friends
Okay.
and all that
right.
stuff. But
I just want to give out accurate information because it is a question that people ask. Now, what I want to really get into that I admire the most, you know what I'm saying, about your people and your culture is that they support one another. They work together. if they open up a business, it's the family runs it, and they pass on these work ethics, and they support one another, and they save for one another, and they pre-plan for the future of their kids and their families, and I think it's very beautiful, you know, that you can be able to live like that, and you know, I think that you guys set a new standard for people in general, you know, to be able to mimic that type of tradition, that type of practice, that type of unity, because that's what builds nations, that's what builds communities, you know, and that's what builds character, that's what builds trust and integrity, and I just and together you guys move forward, you become successful, you know, you tell me about a lot of things that you do to help your family, and you know what they do for you, and like you know, like tell us a little bit about that, like how rewarding is it, you know, and you know, I'm sure like anything else, nothing is ever easy, you know, but if everybody's on the same page and striving for the same goal, then it makes things easier.
See, with my family, what's benefited us, it's like I have a lot of older cousins who came, you know, over here with, well, or like their family, you know, my aunts and uncles, they move here. And overseas, you know, it's like people, you don't go to school. Your kids go to work because, you know, everybody's income counts. So you got to, you know, everyone's working. So we're always all working from young. And with my older cousins, it's like I couldn't build any of my rooms that I've built without them, right? And what they do is like, because you're always working with them, like, okay, we're going to build you a room. You know, you obviously got to pay them back and everything. But it's like, we're like when I was going to college, my cousin, you know, when I was short on tuition, would be like, all right, here's, you know, a check for tuition, you know, and he's giving me multiple ones, like check, and it's like, with us, it's like, with that, he's like, don't pay me back, but when your younger cousins are going to school and you got it, you better be there for them.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
You got it covered.
So it's like the right hand washes the left hand washes the right hand, you know, so it's like you gotta keep going, moving to that next level, and they do it together. And even like if I were to open a business, right, my cousins all would have, like older cousins, they would have to kind of basically put a stamp on it of,
yeah, because you just told me your family, they ran a cookie business in the malls, they had multiple cookie businesses, then you said that what else they had?
the restaurant,
The Leo's Coney Island. They're partners in with that.
the
And
dispensary.
I get a VIP card.
Then they got the dispensaries. You know what I mean? And it's like, you know, it's amazing. It's amazing, and I applaud you guys. But so many people, including myself, want to know, like, how do you get there? You know, and because I hope one day, you know, I could be as successful and be able to be a pioneer for my family and have something to pass down. You know, not just leave a memorable legacy behind, but you know, a legacy behind for my family to be able to survive, not just today, but for in the future as well.
So, when my uncles, a lot of them, they moved here, especially in Detroit. They all had shoe repairs and like dry cleaners, right?
Okay.
And one of my older cousins, who basically started like the empire of the family, would go to work with, you know, his dad, my uncle, in Northland. They had the shoe repair.
Okay.
Right?
Damn, so they got a shoe repair company business too.
And he saved up. You know, he bought the Mrs. Fields right across the hall from him, right?
Yeah.
And then that's the thing, you know, from that one store, he turned into 28 stores, you know, and then he sold a lot of them, went to the mortgage industry. That crashed, and then, you know, he lost a lot, built himself back up, bought a whole bunch of Cinnabons, right?
Okay.
And then from Cinnabons, you know, he transitioned into, like, the restaurant and the marijuana industry, which a lot of my cousins have been a part of, but, you know, it just exploded from there. You know, he paid all the taxes, do everything right. You know, the state's got every inch of the place covered in cameras. You know, they could see everything, you know?
Yeah.
So if you run clean operations, you do everything right, you know, it just goes from there. The state called them up, said, we're going to give you the first recreational license, and we're bringing all media with us.
Wow.
And that just went nuts, you know, from there. And, you know, we're doing
So
real good with
is
that.
this cultivated? This tradition is cultivated, it's groomed into your family.
Yeah.
You know, each one teach one. We teach one another. We support one another. You know,
so
and
you have to. It's like you got no choice. You know, it's like they supported us, We got to support.
So what about for the people who do feel like they have a choice? You know, you have a lot of people who don't have the support system that you have, but they still have goals, they still have dreams, they still have ambitions. Like, you know, I see a lot. I love an underdog story. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, the rags to riches story. I love stories like that. And you know, me financially, I'm far from wealthy or rich, and you know, I hope one day I'll be doing a lot better financially. But at the end of the day, I feel like the richest man in the world because, you know, I've been so blessed. My life been so blessed. I got all the right people in my life. I got good woman, good family, good friends. And, you know, I got so many friends, you know, in prison, doing life, you know, a lot of people passing away. And I just, you know, I'm grateful, man, to have life, to have fingers, toes, you know, and just more so than anything, just the heart, you know, to be able to love and accept love. And, you know, so I live a rich life, you know, and to me, that's priceless, you know, so.
Well, even with, like, I would say you got to set goals, right?
Mm-hmm.
And with me, how I view it is when I go into a new environment, a new store, this and that, I master my position. I know I have to master it in 6 months. That's my goal, right? And then within 1 year, right, I have to master the next person's position, right, to make sure I know their job, even if it's not my job.
Okay.
Right? And then, you know, 6 months to another year, I always have that 2-year goal, right? To where I've mastered everyone's job to where I'm doing it better than them, right? So when people say that, you know, there's no opportunity out there, you can't jump to the top. You got to set your goals, you got to start somewhere, and you got to go for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And once your goals and your priorities are set, right, people will tell you that, oh, you know, I'm broke, right? And then they'll be like, oh, you know, it's just hard out here. But you look at them, they got the new, you know, Samsung Note 20, that's like $1,500. You got the PS5, right?
I want the PS5.
But see, the
I'm taking all donations, baby. Look out for me.
But see, that's the thing. You know, that's their goals. If you want to be a gamer, people make money on games, but you got to set your goals, right?
Yeah.
So now, me, the last game system I owned was a Nintendo 64.
Dang.
Right? Because my whole thing was, is this going to make me go to the next level, or is that going to make me go to the next level? And people also base their success off of money. Money's not success.
Mm-hmm.
It's how you live your life. Is if you're successful. You know,
Oh,
if
man.
you have good value, you know, and you got to think about it. Somebody like doctors, they won't make money until their late 50s. Why? You graduate from school, you're already 30 something years old, right? You have $500,000 in student loan debt. That's why doctors are working so hard.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're starting their families. Now they want that Mercedes that they haven't driven for 30 years, right? They want that big house that they've never lived in, right? But I have a cousin who was a doctor, bought a regular house, driving, you know, regular, you know, cheap Hondas, not even brand new Hondas, until he paid off all his loans. And now he's like, okay, now I go to that next level.
So he lived within his means then.
Yeah. So he dedicates, okay, this is my salary that goes towards that I'm going to live with.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then that's how you go. Everyone's going to live their lifestyle of their salary. But how to move to the next level is how much extra work you're going to put.
I really respect the process that you allow yourself to go through. He said when he gets a job, he learns to master his job, his skill. Then he tries to learn and master the position of the guy next to him. And that's how you really educate yourself, have the experience. You know, you start from the bottom, work your way up to the top. Now you own your own business.
And you can make your demands then. And even if you don't own a business, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can make your demands to where you're so, you know, you're valuable to the store.
Yeah, you become an asset. Now you can work.
So where I can do everybody's position with my eyes closed, you know? And that's the thing. That's the drive I took when we first opened up, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was crazy in there. Spence was there, and it was nuts, you know? And everyone took their days off. I didn't for the first 3 months. I took one day off in the first 3 months. Why? Because I was like, shit, you know, this is this is the airport. It's crazy. It's not like the outside. You know, you got thousands of people walking in there a day. You know,
Trust me, I hear the stories from Katie every night. She talking about everyone came in and said this and did that, and I say, all right.
So when I was there for the first few months, I was like, oh man, this is gonna take me forever. But we eventually got it down. You know, everything's running smooth, thank God. You know, always thank God. And just go from there. And now it's just like, hey, constantly you get calls, and you got to take the calls. You got to see it.
Yeah, I mean, it's part of the hustle and bustle. It's a lot to manage.
You got to be that person to where I'm off the clock. I'm not going to take any calls, right? So now, when you take calls, it's usually because there's an issue. So now I'm learning from everybody's mistake of what was happening to prevent that issue, right? So you got to take those calls. You got to learn everything. You got to know everything,
Absolutely.
And that's the thing.
And that's a lot of responsibility to be in a leadership position, is that you are responsible for other people, and the way that the results are a reflection of you and your leadership. I know everybody calls, there's a lot of people who, give themselves the title of being a boss, but there's a difference in between being a boss and being a leader. Because when you're a leader, that means that you have to lead by example, and you have the best interests of your people. And being a good leader doesn't always necessarily mean that you need followers. It just means that you're a pillar in a community that has great ideas, and that benefit your community and your society in general.
There's different type of leaders that I look at, and I was in ROTC when I was in high school. Okay. Right. And
I was too.
You have colonels in a battle that would give you the map and tell you this is how we're going into battle, right? But then you have the sergeants and all that's actually in the front of the line guiding people. Now, who do you think is more important? People will tell you, oh, the colonel's the most important one, giving you the direction on what to do. But in honesty, he's sitting back. You know what I'm saying? You can get to that point, but that point is like everything changes day by day. You'll never have the same day, So you got to always be in the front of that line to adapt to the changes,
Hey, listen, man, why don't you light this up for me, man? I ain't never hit a hookah, man, but let me hit it one time. I don't even smoke tobacco or nothing, but just for the experience,
I killed this one, so
I didn't care if you killed this one.
So I'm gonna bring this one over.
Let me just
during the intermission, I had to.
What flavor is this?
This is an Irish peach watermelon.
Irish peach watermelon tobacco, huh?
So I had to switch it out here now.
I'm gonna try him out, y'all.
I'll switch this up, but hookah it's good.
I'm scared. I don't know why I'm scared. So what do you do? Just
smoke it, flavorful, right?
Tastes like a Black and Mild. Old penitentiary habits.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Well, see, even
tastes pretty good actually.
Even your story,
I like it like that.
When we were talking the other day, you showed me a picture of your desk when you were there, right? And you even started. So even when people say oh, it's hard, I can't do this, I can't do that, what am I gonna do, right? To me, you're successful, right? You're living life, you're loving life, you got your family around you, and that's success that's right there. Even though with that time taken, it's never too late. You were still able to bounce back and, to me, be a successful person, right?
Yeah,
and what's more valuable than family and happy, and to live life, and to make a difference in your community. Yeah. That right there is more successful than, Jeff Bezos, Look, you think all that money's gonna buy him happiness? He got divorced, right? And he's constantly living with the stress of his work. Okay. To me, I think I'm more successful than him because I believe I'm living a happier life, a better life. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely.
And
because you have a different standard, different belief system, different moral system, different priorities.
And that's motivation. Even your story itself is when people say, "Oh, that's motivation of what you're doing." Right? What you're doing, I respect highly because that was a good bounce back, and I believe you're successful.
Thank you, man.
And-
And I'll tell you what, man, when you just, I lived a lifestyle just straddling the fence all the time, man. And, at the end of the day, man, you got to choose a side. You got to figure out, how you going to walk, how you going to live, And, once I made my mind up, man, I just stuck to the script. I kept myself around good people. I made sure that I was always doing inventory with myself. I always stayed focused. And, every day, man, I just wake up with gratitude in my heart, man.
And you set your goals.
Yeah, absolutely.
Goals.
And my goal really more than anything is just to help as many people as I can. I pray all the time and I ask for more, but it's because the more that I have, the more that I have to give. So if you're in an opportunity or if you're in a position and there's an opportunity for you to help somebody, man, help somebody and make you feel good,
Yeah, especially this time.
And, but when you help, like a lot of people say, I'm gonna help and I'm gonna give you something, because God gonna get me back. That ain't how it go, man. When you help somebody, you help them because that's the kind of heart you get, because you love them. You no more own it. There's no more strings attached. You do it because you want to be a good person.
Yeah, and that's the key right there is being a good person.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
So listen, after before we close out, we let every guest sign the Wall of Fame, man. So I'm gonna let my man Ferris Jabhab, get him on there real quick. Appreciate this too, man. That was pretty cool, man.
Come on. Power it on like you really would.
Come on, man. Where you at? Let me see where you at.
See, I don't want to go above anybody.
Dude, hey, man.
Anywhere you want to put it.
You know what I'm saying? But I don't want to go
Wherever you want, bro. You put it where you want. Wherever you see.
You know what? Let's go right by the light.
No, don't do it behind the light,
No,
man.
by the light, by the light.
All right, that's cool. Shine the
You
light
know,
on
you
me.
need the light.
Just give me
Shine
the light.
Yeah.
Let's get it.
You know, right here.
My man, there it is. Ferris
I
Jabhab.
have that light.
Hey, shout out to my man Bales too, my man Gio. Much love to everybody in the neighborhood. Holla at your boy, man. I'm a firm supporter of all my local people, no matter what you got going on. Thank you for everybody, all my sponsors, all my viewers, everybody sharing, subscribing. I love you. I appreciate you. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody, all your family, friends, and loved ones. From here at Lit Music Entertainment from El Nino Podcast, this is Eladio Nino.